pro when I jumped in on Almighty. So that is a rare occasion. So hopefully that's not the case for this, because Crush, as I mentioned, will be a good addition for them. But also in this respawn map, he needs to do a little bit more, because this is somewhat like SND. Numbers are counting down for control mode, and if they do the same as earlier, it might not look good for them, because this is not their strong points.
And the problem for the Huntsmen is the fact that they are starting off on the attacking side. I mean, we've talked about this a couple of times during GM3, during Stage 3 as a whole, that when you play control, it's very one-sided, especially when you're on the defensive. You have that advantage. And with the control game mode as a whole not being the best mode for the Huntsmen, this just turned out to be a disaster overall. And I hope the boys can turn things around here for themselves, or else we are just gonna have a donut party from the very start of the day.
Yeah, we'll have to yet to see 2-1, or we'll have to find out. We'll have to find out of how this will end, because I thought the game has ended already, but so far it continues 25-23 when we see the count points, and we're not seeing the usual tactic, AJ, coming from the defense. Wherein they bring in one of, or they let the attackers take one of the points and then funnel them later on. It's more of securing those points and taking the kills, but that is where ABC Esports are doing well. So far, it's already a huge lead when it comes to that life count, and they are still counting down near the lives and starting to buff out those lives against the Huntsmen.
Oh, Trickster is just trying his best to play those tricks. 6 kills in a row he manages to slay. I mean, almost fully streaking himself up as well. Has got the tag scope on the right tech AMR. I mean, who cares about the FPD being banned out when you've got that right tech on your side, man? I mean, that gun is just absolutely killing it out there on the battlefield. And when you bring it into control, you know you can gain control of the map very, very easily, as long as you know all of your angles. And very clearly, Tricksters knows how to play his angles. But here's the surprising thing. Huntsmen have managed to steal away that flag already, but that was the easier one on Slump. Getting that A flag away is going to be the problem. And if you actually want to break this A flag, what you need to do is force your players towards the left-hand side of the map, move through Broken Junkyard, and then try to spawn trap those players. If you're not going to have anybody playing that extra bit of distraction, taking away this flag becomes so much more difficult, Neptune.
Yeah, it's becoming difficult right now, but ABC is losing lives as we speak, but bouncing it off. Oh, the nade coming from Reef right now, and it's now tied 6-6 on the life point, but the tick is counting. Huntsman was able to take 2 already, but they are losing lives. They need a little bit of recovery right now and take it slow to make the kills first before taking the approach.
Hunter Killer Drone not manages to slay Messix with it, but the Predator missile earlier on was an absolute waste. Victor's holding on to that angle, but he meets his match. Zen stepping up as well, but Messix with his thinking from out of nowhere gets Zen out of the equation, and Nochi cannot trade back. It's a 4-2 life. Make that one. Huntsman on their final life, try to push forth, and I believe that's game over as Nochi has dropped. The players of ABC Esports secure a very close round against the Huntsmen.
That was the closest that we've seen in there on capturing Alpha. It is the first time that we've seen that, because most of the time, once Bravo has been given up, Alpha would be the funnel. And I guess that happens as well when we have seen the Huntsman being taken down in there as they take that approach. But they should have focused on getting the kills and waiting for that opportunity. But this time, I mean, there's no waiting already for ABC Esports. They started the slay, and they will take those points as well.
Good play coming through from the players of Huntsmen, but they don't seem to be able to pull away those slays. Crush finally managed to drop Grief, and that's going to be the opener. But look at the players of ABC Esports making headway here. A single player playing that objective, pulling away that A flag, whilst that distraction is played all the way up at the garage as well. OCAT brings in that one and only Purifier, toasting out those players, and Tricksters on the other hand, 3 kills in hand so far. And he is going to down with all of the players. Esper returns fire, but the damage has already been done. With just 6 lives lost, ABC has managed to pull away that B flag, and now they make headway towards that A flag.
Zen right now trying to take a hold of this flag, but so far not so much of backup coming from the rest of Huntsmen. We have grenade in our throwing system in here, but there goes the signal for Zen to rush in, also double backing into this point, but not so much that they can take another kill in this game. Now it is only 4 or 5 lives lead from ABC Esports, and if they take this low, the Huntsmen, if they take this low, they might be able to take a lead in terms of that life point, AJ.
Esper trying to dodge the hunter-killer drone and finds out that it's difficult to pull off. Hunter-killer drone finds him a little too fast. Crush, on the other hand, turns around at the wrong time, but thankfully Nochi had the purifier in hand, snuffs out Reef, who came for his buddy. Nochi, on the other hand, circling around, moving towards Broken. I like the angles held on by the Huntsmen, but they are on a 4-life deficit. Make that 5 as Ocats, and once again Messix gets that god nade. Esper and Nochi trading out the players of ABC, and Zen dropping Messix as well. Once again, the Huntsmen holding on for their dear lives. Defense is so much more easier than offense when it comes to control, and the Huntsmen using that to their best advantage. Just a 2-life deficit now the Huntsmen are on, but the defense has been solid. They just need to hang on for 30 more seconds now, Neptune.
And they need to take it slow, no rush and no quick decisions, or no change of decisions at this point. Once you take one corner, you hold that and make sure that you will not be backstabbed, and that needs to be done by this team of the Huntsmen. Otherwise they will be losing all those lives. Derp in there purifying the lives out of ABC, but not so much on the life point. There's one left in here, and the Huntsman might be seeing it on this point, AJ. But Zen still doing well. Purifier in hand, and another one.
Big kill. Oh my lord! Zen managing to get that kill, but no more lives on the side of the Huntsmen. And that was so unfortunate if you are a Malaysian fan watching, because I know you were on the edge of your seats. You know, super great defense dropped in here by the Huntsmen, especially when they're holding on to the A flag. But what ABC Esports did so much better than the Huntsmen, when ABC was on the attack, you saw the focus being on both sides of slums. They were going in towards Garage, but they were using that access from Broken into Graves as well, very smartly, and splitting up the forces of Huntsmen. And that's something that the Malaysian players just did not do on the attacking side.
Yeah, it's more of taking the spawn flip in here, bringing them to one direction, and with those splits, yes, will make it work for them. So we'll have to find out if that will happen this time, because the Huntsmen are being pushed towards the Special Forces base and nowhere close to either A and B right now, as the Huntsmen are trying for the capture against the B side, and they might be funneled into Alpha later on, so they need to make that move. And I think this member of Derp and Zen will try to make that move as well from the other side, but we'll have to see if they'll be able to sustain it, Jay.
Yeah, Tricksters can't really get that flick this time around. Huntsmen, they are slowly stealing away that B flag successfully. And they are getting actually better and better at this. And now with just a 3-life deficit, they've managed to pull this off already. And making a beeline towards that A flag isn't going to be an issue for them. But Ocats is just an absolute pain, making sure he deals that little bit of damage before backing away to play the defensive spot on that A flag. Hunter-killer drone sent out for the hunt. Finds absolutely no one. You gotta be crying if you're a Huntsman player, but the numbers all equal. And as they make a beeline towards that A flag, look at the overextending ABC Esports. This flank from the right hand side might just be the end of the Huntsman's attack, and that's exactly what's happening. They are being surrounded, but the one final player, Zen, smartly stays away from that flag.
That was a good intention from the Huntsmen in there to altogether push Alpha, but they were a little bit too late on the approach. Thus, the ABC was able to take Alpha already. Now they need to rethink their position, and I think they're heading towards the middle, towards the church as well as Graves, to turn it to the other side and probably take the kills from here, wherein not a lot of defenses has been put in. And this smart move coming from the Huntsmen right now, but with 1 point deficit at this point, they need to make do with the kills first before they go in for the push. And there we have it. Derp is in there for the double, but balancing it out, it is now the Huntsman down by 1.
Down by 1. Make that just a single life left on the side of Huntsmen. Then Creepy Crawly, what can he get out of the middle of this grassy area here? I believe a little bit of extra, but no, Derp manages to pull out his Purifier, gets a kill, but gets purified himself, and yet another 3-0 served up hot on the first day of the regional qualifiers for Garena, and it just seems to be an absolute fantastic day for the teams that are actually picking up this 3-0s. Almighty Fist and now ABC Esports, Singapore and Indonesia. I'm not surprised that we see them dominating from the get-go.
And when it comes to numbers, like what we mentioned earlier, ABC Esports had great capacity in terms of getting this 3-0. But I guess this is the answer from what will be the result of the new roster of the Huntsmen. They needed to be a little bit more coordinated.